What we need to change for Naga Esports, I feel like, is the communication. We still lack. We're actually still a relatively young team, so we still don't have the synergy that other teams have. Like the next three teams that will be facing TME, IPT, and Mineski. So it's going to be a really big test the next 3 weeks, going against the easily top 4, actually the top 3 of the split. So it's gonna be very scary, but on a personal player mentality note, I'm actually very confident. Like the first few weeks of TGS, I was actually very nervous. I missed so many minions, but today I actually just enjoyed my game. You know, I'm feeling like I'm getting back into form. The other players also, some of them are getting stressed because it's actually funny because every week the enemy teams get harder and harder. But I feel like we can pull out wins, especially if we put in more effort. Thank you for supporting Naga Esports. We're a relatively new team. Like we've been relegated multiple times under different rosters. A lot of players have moved on in their careers. Some of them are still in the PGS, but I feel very confident and I appreciate everyone's support. If you guys want to catch more of Naga Esports, make sure to follow our streams. So you have twitch.tv/Rebenga, you have twitch.tv/Lolme, twitch.tv/Iconic, twitch.tv/Xperzerk, and you also have twitch.tv/Xparuru. So the only people who don't stream on our team right now is our substitute jungler and our mid laner, Tamchu and Calculated respectively, but the rest of us all stream. So if you want to interact with us, get to know the players on a more personal note, feel free to follow our Twitch. We're also active on social media, and thank you guys for the never-ending support, and we appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts.
Ladies and gentlemen, again maligayang pagbabalik dito sa 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series Spring Split. Drive your energy. So, bago natin pag-usapan yung nangyari kanina, going in from Game 1, going into Game 2, pakilala muna kami bilang casters niyo for this standoff right here. Arctic at your service. Siyempre, kasama ko si Chisto. Wow, we actually got some good insights there coming from Iconic. Totoo nga naman na they are one of the kahit yung brand mismo, medyo matagal na sa pro scene. The roster itself, they're still trying to break in their synergy. So, I guess that's a good point right there. But medyo may struggle yung Naga. And it's even more trickier because they're going to be facing even stronger teams as the weeks go by.
Yeah, but speaking of struggles ng Naga, I think during that preview, all of their struggles sort of ended after they finally were able to pick up another victory. And I think that could be a tilter for IPT because their sole win condition during that game was securing that Baron. But unfortunately, very close margins. Rebenga was able to steal the Baron, and I think that gave Naga Esports enough time to delay the game, and eventually they were able to pull out the win.
Yeah, that could have easily been the game for IPT had that Baron not been secured. So there we go. That's what hashtag Rebenga is back, guys. So nonetheless, looks like for both sides, makikita nga natin they'll be sticking to their guns, same rosters. No substitutes will be fielded. Of course, one win secured for Naga Esports. Tingnan natin if that could potentially lead into an overall match win as we head into Game 2. So for IPT, of course, they want to try to hinder that. At least equal the field 1-1 para ma-force ang ating series into a Game 3.
Yeah, and I think IPT in a sense were caught off guard. After that Baron steal, they really couldn't set up anything after. It was very difficult for them to set anything up. And now, after they have a bit of time to reset, hopefully for this match 2, they will have a cleaner time on Summoner's Rift.
Oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Hopefully, I mean, IPT, sila nga naman ng isang sa mga veteranong team. So, medyo sanay naman na sila sa mga pressure moments na ganito na hindi sila nag-start off on the best foot for this particular match. Pero I have no doubts na kaya naman nilang mag-recuperate. Meanwhile, for Naga Esports, hopefully, ito ang maging stepping stone nila. Hopefully, ito maging motivator nila para i-close out tong series nito. As you can see though, Naga Esports won't be having any well, actually, technically, they started off the series without anybody tying for 6th place. Pero, ang magiging determining factor dito is whether or not they could overtake Team Manila Eagles in the standings, at least for day 1, kasi bukas pwede pang magbago yan with our second day of matches. But for the meantime, still good ground to work with, considering na ito nga ang make or break point ng weeks na to, wherein every single point counts, especially for the teams na nasa bottom 4 to at least try to make it to playoffs.
Yeah, and speaking of playoffs, sobrang importante niyang 6th place kasi 6 na team ang kukunin para dyan sa playoff stage ng 2018 PGS. So, I'm pretty sure Acclaim and Infused right now are definitely gunning to take Naga's spot, but Naga is in a good position to keep this spot now that they are up 1-0 in this best of 3. But hindi sila pwede maging kampante dito, Arctic.
Definitely.
Hindi sila pwede maging complacent. They still need to close out another game if they wanna secure all those points. Those juicy points.
Yes, juicy indeed. Pero let's go ahead and see though if they can at least close it out. Because if they close it out 2-0, mas maganda yung magiging standing nila as far as making sure that they don't have to compete as hard for the, at least, sabihin natin, yeah, for the 6th slot, exactly. So, you know, of course, you want to take advantage of every opportunity again para ma-alleviate yung pressure na yun na hindi kayo naghahabol sa points masyado in comparison to other teams that are at the bottom that do kind of start need to hustling, especially for Acclaim Empire X and Infused Esports respectively. Pero yan, I guess magkakaalaman tayo in just a bit, guys. So, syempre, whether kung saan man kayo nanonood ngayon, whether sa sa Facebook natin or sa YouTube, gaming.youtube.com/pagegarena/live, let us know your thoughts pa rin sa chat box kung sino, or not just your thoughts, pero kung sino ang gusto nyong manalo, who you guys are rooting for. I'm pretty sure nga, gaya ng plinog ni Iconic kanina, they're probably one of the more active people in social media right now, and sa streaming especially. I mean, Rebenga is pretty much, very much regular. I think Iconic, not as much recently since mas focus siya sa practices as well as juggling studies rin, if I'm not mistaken. So, ayan, at least, yun yung sinasabi ko, it's nice to see na players, aside from just competing in the PGS, may mga other avenues pa rin sila to promote not only their team's brand, but their own personal brand as well. So, I'll hold off from there. Let's head into the pick and ban phase for Game 2 between Naga Esports and Imperium Pro Team.
Okay, we have swapped sides here. Tignan natin ano ang dadalhin nila onto Summoner's Rift. IPT mukhang wala pa ring nagbago. It still is a Juani ban targeted at Rebenga.
Yes, but of course, looks like no longer are we in the days wherein Rebenga needs to be on that Sejuani to propel Naga Esports into a win. Gaya nga nang nakita natin, not just needing a tank, he could also go in that carry position-ish to assassinate key targets. So at least nakita naman natin na may flexibility sa Rebenga which can propel Naga Esports into wins. Meanwhile, looking at the picks so far, I'm pretty sure that's not a double rise. Ano nga ba yung game mode na may all for one ba?
One for all?
One for all.
Yeah, I think it's called one for all.
Yeah, one for all, one for all. So, yeah, I was kind of worried there na yun ba yung mode na lalaroin natin for game 2? But of course, that's not the case, guys. So, antayin lang natin ng onti yung pagbalik natin sa pick and ban phase. But, yeah, so
let's talk about what has been.
Yeah.
Until yung nakita yung dalawang rise, let's talk about what has been banned. I think IPT did not choose to change up their bans. It's still Sejuani Nunu and Tom Kench, if I recall correctly. But Naga Esports will be jumping immediately on that Ezreal. And in the previous game, nakita natin, IPT were ahead until the point that they lost. They were taking advantage of absolutely everything they could get. But in the end, I think the Ezreal pick did fall off. It got outscaled by the Tristana of Luxuria. And now Luxuria will be playing the Ezreal. Let's see. Will we reach that point where Ezreal falls off and then Hate's Vein can just take over?
Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure here for Hate to at least make sure that he gets to that point where he could perform effectively on this Vein pagdating sa optimal spike niya. Pero so far, nakita naman natin yung first rotation ng picks from Naga Esports and Imperium Pro Team. Mid lane ADC as well as this Jarvan can potentially still be flanked. So I wouldn't hold off judgment just yet kung ano yung na-feel ni Naga Esports.
No, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Iconic play another tank. Like, Maokai is still on the table, and he has been very effective on this champion, just consistently tanking damage for his team, enabling them in team fights. I really wouldn't be surprised to see something like, it's another tank. It's actually Poppy. So, it's not a Maokai per se, but it is another tank. And is this the first Poppy of this PGS split?
I think so, yeah. This is, because I don't recall any Poppy games these past few weeks. So, refreshing pick right there. And with all said and done, guys, ayan na nga, ang compositions ng both sides. Na-mention ko naman yung mga stream links natin. So, syempre, tandaan nyo pa rin yung mga hashtags natin. Hashtag AnyWin, hashtag IPTWin.
Yeah, I really like this Poppy pick and deny a lot of what IPT can do because they're gonna want to jump in with the Kennen, with the Kazakhs, and Poppy just denies that with her W, with her ult. Let's see, will Iconic be able to, no pun intended, pop off on this Poppy?
But in all fairness, medyo na-miss ko na yung Poppy. I miss those days na naalala mo yung upon rework na talagang like we've seen her for so many patches in the pro scene. It's been so long until such time she got really massively whacked by the Nerf hammer.
Why are we putting her hammers? But yeah, I'm very excited to see how this will pan out for Naga Esports.
Hopefully we do see a little bit, hopefully, at least for their sake, we see at least one more win for them. But of course, alam naman natin yan, Imperium Pro Team being the veteran team that they are, hindi nila basta-basta ibibigay yung panalo na yun. Not just that, hindi nila basta-basta ibibigay yung match overall. I know for a fact that they're wanting to come back. Of course, there's a bit of pressure right now since although they are sitting comfortably in a better spot, but we'll just have to find out if that transpires as we head on to the rest. And there you have it, guys. Ito na nga, day 1 for Week 5 of the Bacchus Pro Gaming Series. This is Naga Esports versus Imperium Pro Team. Let's head on to the ref for the action to transpire right here, right now.
Tingnan natin sino magwawagi. It is Game 2 of Match 2. Best of 3 pa to. So, if Naga Esports comes out on top here, it means they get that 2-0. But IPT, I'm pretty sure hindi nila hahayaan yung Naga na makakuha ng 2-0. And speaking of hindi nila hahayaan, we see an invade.
Oh, Neep actually might potentially get caught out. Sun unfortunately does not connect.
Yes,
IPT really in on it, and yes, that will be the flash exhausted from Neep. Well, not bad. Summoner spell exhausted, not to mention Vision established in that Tribrush. So, small victory for IPT, but then again, doesn't necessarily deter anyone. So, chill pa rin tayo, guys.
Yeah, speaking of small victories, during that entire exchange, Luxuria landed a Mystic Shot, and I saw a sack of gold in his inventory from his Kleptomancy. So, I think in the end, Neep will just be playing passive now since he has no flash.
Yeah.
Pero more gold on Luxuria. I'm pretty sure masaya sila na meron.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And nakita naman natin kung ganong kaganda yung pop-off ni Luxuria nung Game 1. And that's what I've been talking about constantly. Na it's something that Naga Esports would work with as the game went along. But of course, enough of what happened earlier. As of the present, looks like both junglers starting off same side of the map.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see kung paano magpapan out yung top lane matchup because we haven't seen that much Poppy.
Oh yeah.
We haven't seen that much Kennen in the top lane after some of their changes. A lot of patches ago actually. We haven't seen that much Kennen in competitive play. We've normally seen the Gangplanks, the Camille, but now let's just wait and see what both these top laners can do.
Speaking of what they can do, in theory, is it in a Poppy versus Kennen, is it Kennen that thrives purely based off the range versus melee advantage?
Alam mo, feeling ko normal na sa top lane meta na ngayon na palaging may isang range champion, tapos palaging may isa, tapos yung palaging matchup yung melee. I think for early game, Poppy will be tanky enough to just survive what Kennen can do.
True.
But once late game comes, if the Kennen isn't that far ahead, I think Poppy can just provide so much more in a team fight.
I'd have to agree with you there. And, I mean, just with that Poppy alone, there's a lot of eject tools onto otherwise champions that could easily engage and go on from IPT. But meanwhile, Rebenga, very, very low, will be forced to flash away to make sure hindi siya maging first casualty ng laban na to.
Ay, ang swerte ni Rebenga doon na hindi siya tinamaan nung Rune Prison ni Rise while he was still under tower range because I think one more turret shot could have meant his death. Luckily enough for him, he does burn his flash, he does survive, but Ivalis is sitting on a ward and Calculate is sneaking up on the Kazakhs.
Ooh, that's going to be a pop-up onto Ivalis. That will be the smite to get a little bit of health. Nakatakas ba si Ivalis though? First blood with that auto attack. Mapupunta sa Naga Esports onto Calculated. Well played there.
Yeah, that was a smart invade by Calculate. He was able to push in Light. So kahit pumunta si Light doon, he was faced with a choice where susundan ko ba si Carl sa Romeo? Pero mawawala na ako ng CS pag sinundan ko siya. So wisely enough, Calculate, knowing that he has pressure mid lane, invades, picks up the kill onto Ivalis and double buffs as well. onto Talia. This is massive for his early game.
I agree with you there, and well played there by Naga Esports. With that vision, was able to catch out Ivalis, and it just so happens that he started off bot lane. Meanwhile, Iconic a little bit low in terms of HP. Patuloy pa rin hinabol ni Suzaku, flashes in. That will be the stun, and that will be the kill para dito sa top laner ng Imperium Pro Team.
Yeah, gusto ko yung patience ni Suzaku. Inantay niya na mag-flash muna sa Iconic bago niya binato yung Shuriken para ma-ensure na tatama yung stun niya. And with his Ignite, he's running Unsealed Spellbook, so he has the luxury of that early kill pressure. He's able to pick up a solo kill onto Iconic, but Calculated has to be a bit careful in the mid lane, trading versus Light.
True, a bit gutsy there, but then again, Light a little bit low pagdating dito sa mana. So, couldn't really go all out in that trade with Calculated. Calculated as well, medyo naglinger na siya sa kawalan ng mana. So, although it looks like Light gonna be backing away, will potentially be going... Okay, so actually cancels out. We'll deal with the wave pushing in from Calculated. Meanwhile, dito sa bot lane, may push in naman na nagaganap from Hate and Shadow. So, Luxury and Neep, medyo komportable lang sila sa pag-farm ng kung ano mang minion wave ang mapunta sa kanila.
You know, I'm actually very interested to know what the thought process behind this, because Luxury popped off on the Tristana in the previous game, and we saw Ezreal got outscaled, and now he's the one playing the Ezreal. But there's an all-in Carlos from bot lane.
Oh, flash out from Hate to make sure hindi siya ma-knock up ni Calculated. I guess what could be a rationale is because, okay, we're gonna put Luxury on this Ezreal, but in exchange, kailangan maging mas proactive si Calculated sa pag-roam in a way to set opportunities along with maybe Rebenga. So far, nakikita naman natin yun kasi nung Game 1, hindi ganong as proactive si Calculated in terms of making these plays as he was now in Game 2.
Because nung Game 1, since Light had so much early game pressure onto the Talia, Calculated was forced to just constantly wave clear because IPT were shoving all the time, and now since he has the luxury of shoving in Light, he's been unlocked in a sense na kayang-kaya niya mag-roam kung saan man niya gusto. Even pre-6, we've seen him roam. And he picked up first blood for it. Can he get more though? That's the question moving forward in this game.
We'll just have to see. But wow, look at the damage earlier that was exerted. Calculated Light just really bringing out a bit of pressure, but does not necessarily hurt Calculated pagdating sa CS. So he's doing pretty okay, not to mention siya nga naman yung naka-first blood. So Light just making up for a little bit of lost ground there because of that small advantage that Calculated has as a result nung pagkakuha niya ng kill kay Ivalis.
And now looking at topside, I'm very interested to see kung ano yung build path na pipiliin ni Suzaku, because we know Kennen can go both ways. He can go AD, can go AP. The AP is better for these mid-game team fights where you can just absolutely destroy a backline if you are able to get there. But the AD is way better for split push. But now he has based and he's picked up components for a proto belt. So I think that will signal na Suzaku will be building for the team fight.
Right. Meanwhile, here, man, looking at Light, he's already reached that point na Catalyst of Aeons plus a Tear of the Goddess. Sure, well, hindi siya masyadong magkakaroon ng drought pagdating sa mana. That's for sure. And so nakikita natin within the earlier minutes of this game, Light is really on it as far as bringing pressure to Calculated, which is a good balance in a way to whatever shoves Calculated can do. Meanwhile, a little bit of a trade here dito sa bot side. A little bit of damage there onto Luxury. Nothing particularly significant though, as he will regenerate, and shields as well coming in from Neep.
Oh. That's so much damage going onto Iconic. Just Suzaku bullying him out of lane. I think Iconic will be forced to recall. Not yet though.
Eventually, he's just going to allow that wave to push in onto him. Coming in from Suzaku. Take note. So Ignite is now up for him. I'm not sure if he might go for an aggressive maneuver. Probably not the best idea. But still, it is a good thing to work with, considering gaya nga nang na-mention natin Suzaku could at least dish out damage amidst going up against a tankier element like the Poppy.
Yeah, I think Iconic has to pick up MR once he's able to go back and recall possibly a Spectre's Cowl build towards something like a Spirit Visage or an Adaptive Helm, both very effective versus double AP solo lanes.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you because at the end of the day, sa nakikita natin dito sa ginagawa ni Suzaku, constantly just bringing damage onto Iconic, forcing him into a position na medyo limited siya as far as just having to restrain himself under turret. But then again, para sa akin, it doesn't necessarily deter Iconic because what value he brings to the table para sa Naga Esports will shine much more once we hit those bigger fights.
Yeah, and speaking of the value that Iconic has been bringing to Naga Esports, I think we have to credit him as a player for absorbing so much pressure in the top lane because he's constantly being pushed in, but he just absorbs it. As long as he doesn't die to possible dives, I think he's just very happy soaking up all this pressure and allowing the rest of his team to play a bit more freely because majority of the pressure is going towards the top lane.
Oh,
speaking of pressure, there's gonna be a dive.
Ivalice goes straight, and look at the damage though coming in from both Suzaku and Ivalice as well. That is gonna be a moment of stasis, and both survive to tell the tale as mission success. Kill onto Iconic.
Yeah, I like the thought that Iconic tried to do there. He tried to outplay the dive. Unfortunately, it is still League of Stopwatch, and the tower aggro instantly dropped after that. But still, like we mentioned, Iconic has been absorbing this pressure up in the top lane. But whoa, two men.
Wow, quick dive coming in right there from the members of Naga Esports. They didn't even see that coming at all. And that will be two members. Retaliation and revenge for Iconic by both Rebenga and Calculated.
That was very fast. That was a very, very quick response. A beautiful response as well from Naga Esports. Able to pick up the 2 kills onto the members of IPT. Even though they had their flashes up, I don't think they would have escaped that either way.
I agree with you there. Definitely fantastic execution right there. I don't think anybody of us saw that coming. And not to mention the fact they did manage to salvage the turret, albeit just for a little bit. So no first turret thrown, but I still think it'll, at the end of the day, go to Suzaku. Just prolong, give it a little bit of time for Iconic to breathe a bit more in the top lane before it does eventually go down.
Yeah, and going back to sa topic natin kanina na Iconic has been absorbing a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Right there we saw he absorbed the pressure from the dive. It allowed his team to play a bit more freely around the map because the jungler isn't going towards them. If he's able to do this consistently, I think it'll show the improvements that have been happening in Naga throughout the weeks.
Yeah, and I think that's the true test right there for most of our PGS teams, especially sa medyo hindi nagkaroon ng magandang start sa PGS. Although technically they had a good first week, but
especially for a rookie.
Exactly. Especially for a rookie. Yung ang hinahanap talaga natin dito sa PGS as the weeks go by, not only just an improvement in standings, but just a general improvement from the team and from the players themselves. And I think yan ang nakikita natin from not just Iconic, pero I think in general naman sa Naga Esports. Nakita naman natin na Rebenga does not have to necessarily be on a tank in order to perform for Naga Esports. And just in general, I see a little bit more flexibility pagdating dito sa kung ano man ang dinadraft ng Naga Esports.
Yeah, and now as we transition into this very extended na laning phase, like, normal na nakikita natin yung mga laning phase ng mga teams. Tumatagal sila 10-15 minutes. Talagang wala pa nakaka-push ng tower. Unless may gawin yung mga junglers, of course, para i-influence yung lanes. I think this will just continue on until somebody chooses to do something very proactive or aggressive across the map.
Meanwhile, shoving out here constantly both Hate and Shadow. So looks like, for the most part, from what we've been seeing here, Luxury and Neep just medyo restrained na sila sa pag-farm and pag-chill na lang dito sa lane. But then again, I am expecting a lot more from Naga Esports as soon as medyo matapos na itong laning phase at pag nag-transition na tayo sa medyo bigger skirmishes. Meanwhile, here in the mid lane, konting trade dito kay Light at kay Calculated, both at half health right now. So medyo kailangan na muna lang humina in case we do see proactivity from either Rebenga or pwede rin si Ivals.
Yeah, grabe din yung aggression ni Light. No? Kahit, even though he started the laning phase na in a position where he was in a disadvantage, he's really been playing very well na the CS is just 10 gap.
Ooh.
And now Infernal Drake being taken by Naga Esports. That's free.
Yeah, that was a free clean take from Naga right there. Ivalice was in no way. He was... Ang layo ni Ivalice. Nasa upper part siya ng map. So there was no way there could have been a potential steal as far as might goes. Meanwhile, ejected si Suzaku from pushing it on this turret. I like how...
It's one hit away though. And meron pang minion.
One minion trying to get in on that. But I like how andito tayo sa punto na he's just holding the fort pretty much for Naga Esports towards the top side. So let's go ahead and see though.
Okay, so I'm looking at the minimap right now. Calculated and Rebenga are in a position to counter gank topside, and Ivalice is waiting in the bushes. Oh, we're gonna see a play here.
Oh, that will be the shove-in coming in from Iconic. Suzaku has to be careful. Ibelis as well coming in from the background. Teleport na rin ang manggagaling kay Light. Pero makakauna dito ang Naga Esports. Calculated now on a killing spree. Manages to take down Suzaku. Kailangan ng umatras ng ibang miyembro ng IPT. Light and Ibelis just casually walking away. But in the midst of everything, Light takes quite a bit from Calculated. That will be the flash and shove back in. Light goes down. 2 members from IPT are expended. And this will be an Isinate coming from the bot lane. Stun connects onto Hate. But Luxuria comes off better. Still very healthy, getting a few pokes onto both Hate and Shadow. Kailangan ng umatras ng bot lane ng IPT, but at the end of the day, 2-0 in favor of Naga Esports.
Yeah, beautiful play coming from Naga Esports. Even though IPT were able to secure the first start of the game, it's immediately traded back by Naga. Tignan mo yung pareha sa team, pareha sila ng idea doon. IPT, alam natin, merong teleport si Light just in case mag-roam up si Karkirit. Unfortunately, Suzuku was not able to ult during that 3v3 skirmish in the top lane. And nung namatay na si Suzuku doon, it was just up to IPT to immediately run away. Now he's teleporting bot lane.
Oh, Suzuku, is he gonna go in for it though? Look at that, a little bit of a chunk onto Luxury. Pero andito rin ang teleport galing kay Iconic. Wala nang taka si Suzaku kaya re-initiate siya kay Luxuria. Luxuria goes down, stun comes in, but unfortunately Suzaku suffers as a casualty. That will be the condemn coming in to back away Iconic. And still, I believe that ends in a 1-for-1 ADC for top lane.
Yeah, and wala na talagang choice si Suzuku doon. He did not have his flash, and with Iconic teleporting as well, ipit na siya dun eh. So, why not just try and trade the kill 1-for-1? Fortunately enough, Luxuria stepped too far forward, and Suzuku was able to salvage that questionable teleport play.
Indeed. Ang medyo surprising sa akin though is, at the end of the day, kills, nandun yung advantage sa Naga Esports. Dragon as well. First Dragon napunta sa Naga. But at the end of all of it, goal difference is actually still pretty, not as far as I expected, in all fairness.
Yeah, it's still very, very close. And looking at how this game can pan out, in the previous game, we saw Ezreal did fall off. Pero let's wait and see, can Naga close his game out before that point reaches?
Right.
Because Vayne is always going to outscale an Ezreal. That's a sort of given fact because Vayne is an absolute late game monster. So Naga has to deny that.
Meanwhile, looking at the mid lane, mukhang nagkakaroon na ng usapan ng Naga Esports to go for pressure in this lane onto Light. Andito na rin si Rebenga, 4 members of Naga Esports committing dito sa first tier turret ni Light. Tingnan natin kung responde ang IPT dito. Andito na rin si Calculated ng linger dito sa side lane. That's gonna be Weaver's Wall to cancel out Light. I think either way, that will be a turret going to Naga Esports. Rebenga tanking quite a bit, but it goes down. Mission accomplished para dito sa Naga Esports.
A smart use of the Weaver's Wall just to deny the minion wave and deny the members of Imperium Pro Team from defending that tower. And this is classic Naga. When they are ahead in the early game, they just rotate around the map and play the objective game. Their macro is clean if they are ahead. And right now, andun sila sa position na kayang-kaya nilang laruin lang to na full-on macro where just out-rotate IPT.
Yes, finally, we're seeing the systematic Naga Esports that we all know does exist. They finally found their footing. Tignan natin if it does transition into a victory. But so far as yung making sure na makuha nila yung steps na yun to propel themselves to do so, looking pretty good for them. I mean, pretty good lead IPT. Because what I'm worried about here is, even if IPT reaches a certain scale wherein Hate just pops up on this Vayne, there's a lot of tools that could still work in Naga Esports' favor as making sure these team fights work for them. But, oh, Iconic. That will be the condemned away.
You need to be careful. Carl is roaming down.
Meanwhile, the rest of Naga Esports, gusto nila makuha yung repel that na nga nila will be giving it to Rebenga. Good call right there as he does have a little bit more maneuverability pagdating dito sa mapa. Tingnan natin kung paano gagamitin yan ng Naga Esports, kung anong mas malaking value pa ang pwede nilang makuha pag ginamit nila yung buff na yun.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised to see him summon it anytime soon now that Naga has pressure in multiple lanes. Kayang-kaya nila mag-push kung saan nila gusto because at this point of the game, the champions that Naga have are just on a stronger scale than the ones IPT have.
Man, look at Iconic though, really holding the fort dito sa bot lane. And you have to look at it in the sense na, tingnan mo yung items niya. it's mostly geared towards dealing with Suzaku kanina, but despite that, still tanking quite a bit, even though Hate gets a few hits on them every now and then. But ito na nga mukhang mag-i-initiate ng
Weaver's
Naga
Wall?
Esports. Are they gonna go in? That will be Hate and Shadow cancelled out from escaping. Ivalis tries to salvage it. Hate very, very low. That will be Shadow caught in the midst of everything. And Snipe coming in from Luxury. A true shot barrage deals the work right there. And of course, the rest of IPT, kailangan nila mag-back away. 1-0. Naga Esports comes up on top.
What a beautiful combo executed by Iconic and calculated. The Poppy's charge into the Weaver's Wall to stun down the Vayne and lock her down. Just amazing teamwork shown by Naga Esports. Pero I think credit for the kill onto Luxury for sniping Hate just at the end. You thought he'd get away? Kind of nope. True Shot Barrage just immediately nopes that.
Morale is so high for Naga Esports right now. My big question is, where were they these past few weeks? This is the fluidity. This is the Naga Esports I pretty much known and expected nung week 2 onwards, because week 1 they had a great showing. Medyo nawala siya from week 2 to 4, but it's nice to see that they're back in this type of form, especially considering si Iconic mismo nagsabi, they're going up against teams that are a little bit more higher up there in terms of the standings. So it's finally nice to see that they're back online, especially at such a crucial moment kung kailan malapit na ang playoffs.
I mean, malay mo nung previous weeks, nag-warm up pa sila.
True.
And ito na talaga yung linggo kung saan we're gonna show everyone kung ano yung kaya namin gawin. And right now, they look very, very good. They're playing so clean, and right now, they just look... I'm gonna repeat it again. They look really good.
They do look good.
I'm gonna run out of synonyms to describe the way that Naga is playing at the moment. Pero it's really just clean play coming from them at the moment.
It's very fluid. Very, very fluid plays that we're seeing from Naga Esports. But ito yung medyo nagtataka ko. There's definitely a lot of stuff that we can praise Naga Esports for dito sa week 5. Pero, I'll have to hold off right there though. Suzaku gonna try to hold the fort. We'll get the stun onto Rebenga. Look at the damage though, Rebenga. Maybe forced to back away. That's gonna be Suzaku getting ejected from going for the potential pursuit, but still, no casualties there. So Rebenga will back away just.
Yeah, just tanky enough to survive the burst that Suzaku can deal. And now that is Slicing Maelstrom gone for the possible next team fight, Naga Esports have a window if they want to choose to force a fight. Pero I don't think they want to force anything, and just they're gonna play the macro here.
Definitely. Meanwhile, anyway, yeah, going to kung ano yung sinasabi ko kanina. Kasi bago magsimula yung game 1, sinasabi namin ni Atlas na si IPT, sila yung isa sa consistent teams natin these past few weeks. But looking at how they're playing out in this week 5, medyo nakukulangan ako sa consistency na yun, na it's not as solid as we saw in these past few weeks. Meanwhile, Calculated making his way towards the bot lane will try to contend with Hate, pero nandito rin si Iconic para tulungan si Calculated. Will IPT manage to outplay, though unfortunately without the mana, without the maneuverability, goes down as Iconic secures the kill.
Yeah, that's very unlucky. Hate tumbled on one of the rocks that Dalia placed down. He was slowed from it, so he wasn't able to get away. And mid lane, I don't think IPT can force a fight here, but going back, like, Hate gets caught out in a side lane. Kailangan mo mag-ingat kapag mag-split push ka solo, especially laban sa Talia, because she has that Weaver's Wall, can close the gap to you very, very quickly. And right there, Hate got punished for overextending.
I think this is one of the moments wherein, of course, amidst IPT, gaya nga nasabi natin, silang mas consistent. Dito lumalabas yung tricky part sa kanila as far as what could be detrimental to them. With Hate falling behind on this Vayne, by the minutes, kayang marating ng IPT yung late game. But Light though, that will be a bit of a hold down right there. Knock up onto Luxuria. Luxuria forced to flash away. Pero Neat in exchange forced to become the sacrifice para makaatras ang kanyang marksman. Nandito rin si Suzaku though. Realmart right in there. Iconic, who's he gonna eject? Doesn't land onto anybody, and that will be IPT. But tuloy na habulin dito ang IPT. Iconic might be the next right here, but Suzaku actually manages to catch up to Luxuria. That will be a total of 3 members from Naga Esports taken down, and to hold off right there, IPT. Look at the gold. Equal ground back again.
Wait,
with
kaya
Naga.
ba ng IPT mag-Baron dito? They're going towards the Baron area, but Rebenga is still alive. Will he check this?
Oh no, looks like IPT.
Kayang-kaya kunin ng IPT. They have Kha'Zix for the isolation on Baron. They have Vayne as well.
Ito na ang redemption ni Ivalis to make sure that he secures that Baron right now. Rebenga gonna go straight in onto Suzaku. But ang tanong, can he even deal with Suzaku? Look at the damage coming in, and he gets obliterated. Suzaku is now on a killing spree, and not, of course, just that. cherry on top right there, Baron buff for Imperium Pro Team. What happened there? Naga Esports suddenly drops the ball.
Yeah, I think Naga, they overstayed their welcome. Parang sumobrahan lang nila yung tambay nila on the side of IPT, and immediately the punish, they were able to chase them down. Suzuko, I believe, teleported behind them. And with the movement speed that Kennen has, he was able to close the gap immediately, and they just ran down Naga Esports, and they are rewarded with that Baron buff.
Yan ang gusto ko sa Imperium Pro Team. Medyo didn't have the best game one. We see a few moments kung saan nagiging fluid ang Naga Esports kaya hindi basta-basta nakakagawa ng play ang IPT. But once Naga Esports make that mistake, ang laki lang kayang gawin ng IPT para mag-capitalize sa pagkakamaling yun. And of course, as a result, they get 3 kills. Not to mention, beautiful Baron buff right there. So, could easily bring them back into this game. At ito ang breathing room para dito kay Hate na makapag-pop off on this game.
Yeah, Rebenga is on the side though. I think Naga want to go for an engage.
Yes, Suzaku gets blocked off, gets knocked in by Iconic, and will get obliterated. Rebenga goes straight for Hate right there. Imperium Pro Team, they're trying to back off, but still Iveless gets the kill onto Calculated. Will IPT potentially go for the turnaround? Iconic manages to evict Light, but double kill para dito kay Iveless. Mukhang hindi aatras ang IPT. Gusto nilang sumugod. Realm Wark back in for Light into the fight. Neat gets slowed down as well and will get obliterated. 3 members total offline para dito sa Naga Esports, and 4 members of IPT will go for the siege, and ang laking value na pwede lang makuha dito as a result of this offensive mid lane maneuver.
Yeah, that was a bit disjointed from Naga Esports. Medyo magkakahiwalay sila nung nagsimula yung engagement, and IPT, nagawa nila mag-kite back, na-reset nila yung fight, and since Naga were split up, they don't have that same level of protection if they were clumped up in that Cosmic Radiance. And IPT, they win the team fight. Will they get more here?
Oh, looks like Rebenga gonna try to buy a little bit of time for Naga Esports. Teleport coming in. Iconic, he's gonna look for a target. Finds it in the form of Iveless. Iveless trying to back away. IPT, they're on the run. Pero the rest of Naga Esports, patuloy pa rin nilang hinahabol ang mga miyembro ng Imperium Pro Team. Mahahabol ba nila? Ito na rin si Calculated coming in from the backline. Suzaku will try to go for the salvage. Rebenga goes in. Or are they gonna go for Light? Actually, moment of stasis. Makasurvive kaya siya. No Luxury does manage to get the kill onto him. The rest of IPT do manage to make it out scot-free. So, a little bit of a victory there for Naga Esports to thwart IPT from any further aggression.
Okay, they were able to pick off Light at the end of that just because IPT kind of overextended. The only objective though na kayang kunin ng Naga is a Cloud Drake, not any towers, so things will just reset now. We're back to square one, Arctic.
Exactly. And I think ito yung sinasabi natin kanina na we're in the tables have turned in terms of picks for marksman. Now si Luxuria, we'll definitely have a better time in the mid game, but once we hit that late game, mas mapupunta yung advantage kay Hate, and slowly nararating natin yung point na yan a little bit early on. We are 26 minutes into the game, but because of yung mga nagaganap kanina kung saan medyo nakaka-comeback nitong IPT, easily sets them back on track, and it allows Hate to slowly get into that spike. Now 3 items already completed for him, so that's gonna be pretty massive, lalo na't kung magawa ng IPT na is-zone yung members ng any from getting those key targets sa Imperium Pro Team.
Yeah, I think at this point of the game, it's gonna be really up to Naga Esports and how they're gonna lock down Hate. It's gonna be incredibly difficult for them, but they do have the tools. They have Iconic. Iconic just has to charge and possibly combo it with the rain generated from Rebenga's ultimate or Calculated's Weaver's Wall. And kung kaya nilang mahuli yung Vayne, I think that might be their only window to win a team fight. But Luxurious in trouble!
Iveless goes straight in. Luckily, a few shields and heals from Neat to make sure na hindi basta-basta mamamatay ang marksman niya. I got you, fam. But still, Calculated will be on the chase. We'll try to go for Iveless. That will be constant damage. Ooh! True shot barrage for the snipe and the kill to seal the deal from Calculated. As Iveless, jungler for IPT, he goes down, down, down.
Yeah, not quite what Iveless wanted. Nope. Iisip niya siguro mag-isa lang si Luxuria dun and he can possibly assassinate him. But that was not the case, and this pick-off is huge for Naga Esports. Now there's less threats on the map and they can push forward.
Yes, let's go ahead and see though. Looks like as far as positioning dito sa mapa, they're gonna allow themselves luxury of making sure na ma-establish nila ang onting control pagdating sa vision sa side ng Imperium Pro Team, at ito na nga ang siege na manggagaling sa kanila. They're gonna go straight for, I believe they'll be able to take this second tier turret without any complication.
Yeah, I don't think IPT are interested to challenge that tower. I mean, you can just give that up. Ayaw namin pumasok sa 4v5 and now IPT is in a tough spot because looking at the tools they have to engage, unless they're able to use the Braum and really just get him forward and go with that engage, yung nag-iisang option lang nila na the only alternative is Suzaku going for a TP flank onto the backline of Naga. Those are the only options IPT has to stop the push forward that Naga has.
I have to agree with you there because for Naga Esports, gaya ng sabi ko, what I like about their composition is there's a lot of days they could cancel out what strengths IPT has pagdating sa composition. And it's mostly through disengage tools and what terrain that they can use. Probably Weaver's Wall from Calculated and then yung ultimately iconic. And if all else fails, they have that extra utility coming in from Neep with the Taric Cosmic Radiance as well to grant them extra survivability in case. So there's a lot of ways IPT can be thrown off, but then again, di mo basta-basta pwedeng maliitin yung late game once Hate starts really getting things going pagdating dito sa Vayne.
Yeah, pero going back to the previous point na we were talking about, we are back to square one. Parang both teams have just reset now, trying to get pressure in the waves, trying to get the minions pushing in their favor. And I think we're gonna see who might come out on top once the Baron spawns because it is up in the next 30 seconds.
Yes, that's gonna be a pretty big thing here. And sa nakikita nga natin, both Naga Esports at Imperium Pro Team nagsa-start na sila mag-establish ng control dito sa upper side ng mapa. Para if ever may mag-attempt man lang na mag-Baron, they'll be on top of it right there or could be a fight before that Baron. Tingnan natin. We don't want to see anybody getting picked off under any circumstances.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Gusto ko ng 5v5 sa Baron. Like, just full-on team fight. I really want to see that happen.
We'll see, man. We'll just have to see. But yeah, looks like Baron is live right now. IPT and Naga Esports starting to linger. Iconic getting a little bit of a shove here dito sa bot lane pero teleport up naman para sa kanya kaya mabilis naman siya makaka-responde kung sakaling may action na maganap dito sa upper side towards yung Baron Nashor.
Yeah, and speaking of Baron Nashor, a lot of things can decide if a fight does break out in this area. There's a lot of things both teams have that could really decide whoever will win that team fight. Of course, Cosmic Radiance from Neep, a flank from Suzaku possibly. There's really a lot of factors that could go in to whoever might come out and secure that objective.
Not to mention, ngayon ko lang napansin, Gold is actually a little bit tilted for IPT. Not that it really matters, pero ito na nga, Naga Esports will be the first to proactively make their way to potentially take the Baron, but will back away.
Okay, na-force na Naga yung teleport ni Suzaku.
Oh.
That is huge. That's actually big for Naga Esports because now that Suzaku doesn't have teleport, he can't stay in the bot lane with Iconic. And now Naga will just reset, go back to this Baron. And now Suzaku is forced to walk up because IPT has to challenge this.
Oh, Naga Esports, they really want in on this Imperium Pro Team. Ano kaya ang gagawin nila para i-contest ito? Mapipigilan kaya nila Naga Esports? Looks like that is going to be in the Weaver's Wall. Will cancel out Suzaku and Light from going into that fight. Will Naga Esports go for the engage on what three members are isolated? Looks like that will be indeed.
Oh,
the case
gone.
Calculated easily gets hit, and that's going to be a huge blow to Imperium Pro Team in this fight. Neep gets the kill onto Ivalis. Dalawang miyembro ng Imperium Pro Team ang na-decimate ng Naga Esports. At ito na ang signal para mag-Baron, knowing that their jungler, the jungler from Imperium Pro Team is down right now.
Yeah, beautiful play by Naga Esports. I think will net them the Baron. IPT has no business challenging this objective. No AD carry, no jungler. This Baron is going to Naga Esports.
Wow, and this is gonna be big, big, big. Meanwhile, IPT, I think they're gonna content themselves with a small consolation in the form of the Dragon. Pero ano yan kung ikukumpara mo sa Baron buff na meron ng Naga Esports ngayon? Very interesting makita kung anong value makukuha ng Naga Esports if they could potentially go for the finish or at least clear out inhibitors from the side of Imperium Pro Team. It's gonna be very, very juicy these next few minutes.
Yeah, and during that fight around the Baron area, sobrang crucial ng mga nangyari. First of all, it was the Weaver's Wall separating IPT. There was no way for Suzaku to get into the fight. And the second thing that happened, Hate got popped. He had both his summoners up. He did not burn any of them. And he immediately got deleted at the start of all that fighting. And with no Vayne, I mentioned earlier that Naga has to lock him down if they want to possibly win a team fight, considering that they might get outscaled. Just like that, they did what they had to do. and they were rewarded for it.
Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about right there. Kahit may advantage ang Imperium Pro Team sa Vayne na to, because of what... okay, let's go ahead and check out this replay though to demonstrate that.
Okay, Hate is between literally a rock and a hard place. He has his flash, but he hesitates to use his summoners. He gets permanently CC'd by the Poppy. And with the Vayne gun, walang mundo na kayang i-challenge to ng IPT. They just need to run and get away. There's no way they're winning that fight without Hate.
Indeed. And that's what I've been talking about right there. Even though the skills tip towards IPT with this Vayne, if Naga Esports, they could command the team fights through kung anong yung kit ng respective champions nila, then madali nilang mataturn yung flows sa kanilang pabor. So, I don't know, man. If IPT, they really need to start making things happen, because if not, Naga Esports could potentially pull this into a 2-0.
Yeah, and now again, smart use of Weaver's Fall, denying the defense coming from IPT, but we're gonna see a fight!
This is gonna be the last fight though. Ultimate Cosmic Radiance popped by Naga Esports. The rest of the Imperium Pro team, they have to back away as Naga Esports goes for this emitter. Mukhang magbabalik muna ang Naga Esports para mag-recuperate, pero dahil nga, medyo healthy pa sila. Marami pa silang options na pwedeng gawin. Good transition towards mid lane. Nakakita ko ng recall. So mukhang hinay-hinay muna sila. They're not gonna force it too much. They're just gonna let it be.
Yeah, inhibitor lang yung gusto ng Naga doon. Ayaw nilang mag-force ng laban doon. Talagang kukunin lang namin yung inhibitor, tapos aalis kami kagad. Now they're gonna reset, wait for the cooldown of Weaver's Wall, and push in another lane, use it the same way, zone out the members of IPT, and in that time where Weaver's Wall blocks them from defending the tower, just start sieging with it.
At yan ang magandang disiplina na gusto ko sa Naga Esports. Just waiting for those tools to come up. Because if they try to force things without the utility of their kits, then that's where they could ultimately falter. But they realize that. And that's what they're working with to propel themselves towards this victory. Their win conditions, basically. And that's what I really like.
Oh, no, Light.
But Light, forced to deal with 3 members of Naga Esports. That will be Shadow evicted from the fight. But Hate tries to go in from the front line. He tries to go for things. Imperium Pro team, are they going to go for it? Well, hinay muna sila as 5 members of Naga Esports start converging. Baron buff is still up for them. I think they could easily take down the second tier turret dito sa bot lane. I'm not sure Baron buff will last long enough to potentially go for the inhibitor. Pero syempre, objectives are much more welcome for the taking dito sa Naga Esports. They're going to continue to go for it. Imperium Pro team, they are on the defense. Shadow going for the front line to make sure whatever's thrown from Naga Esports, he can block and tank. Suzaku trying to throw a few shurikens, auto attacks here and there. He tries to go for the stun, does not connect onto Suzaku. Suzaku just gonna hold back a bit. Naga Esports, they're just voting their time well. They really want in on this push. Pokes thrown in by Luxuria. Okay.
Grabe yung mga nag-Ezreal ngayon. Talagang hindi sila takot na mag-Arcane Shift forward. Pero yeah, Naga, they're still pushing 5-man strong. Neep is healing them constantly on this Taric so that they can just continuously go for the siege. And unless IPT go for an engage, Naga will just destroy all their towers.
Ooh.
Tough choices.
Tough choice indeed. Imperium Pro team, they're still continuing to hold their ground. But Naga Esports, they're very much decided on wanting to push this. That will be Weaver's Wall. Isolating Light and Shadow. Very ironic combo right there. That will be 2 members of Imperium Pro team evicted by Iconic. Imperium Pro team, they're trying to back away. Suzaku, is he going to go for the initiate? That is going to be the stun as the rest of Naga Esports, they get fully stunned by Suzaku right there, but looks like Imperium Pro team, ito na yung hinanap nilang fight para makabawi. He's gonna be the superstar right here. He tries to go for the rest of Naga Esports. This could be a potential cleanup. Light comes in from the background, goes for the flank. Calculated gets the kill onto Suzaku, but IPT, they're not done just yet. They want to go for the cleanup. Light potentially will get the kill onto Luxury. He has to be careful. He goes down, but not before he gets taken down by Ivalis in exchange for Benga, the only surviving member of Naga Esports. At tatapos ang laban na yon. 3-4-4 in favor of Imperium Pro team.
Yeah, I think best case scenario na yun para sa IPT because they had to do something to stop the push, and just at the right moment, Suzuki was able to get into their backline, and even with Cosmic Radiance, not enough time bought, they were able to run down the members of Naga Esports, but their base is still in ruins.
Ooh, Imperium Pro team, they still have quite a bit to work with. Small victory para sa kanila. Let's go check out the replay.
Yeah, and since wala na yung Weaver's Wall dito, Suzuki was able to flash and deal his burst damage before Cosmic Radiance comes down. That was massive na nailabas na niya lahat ng damage niya bago naging invulnerable yung members ng Naga Esports. And at this stage, it's just absolute cleanup for Hate because there are nearly no threats to that Vayne. He's able to run them down and absolutely clean up this fight.
Whew. Very well played. Pero tingnan natin, just how far can IPT stretch this? Because at the end of the day, there's still quite a bit of control that Naga Esports can work with. And medyo limitado pa rin ang Imperium Pro Team sa paggala dito sa mga kadahilanan ng kawalan ng inhibitor sa top lane nila.
Yeah, and speaking of that top lane inhibitor, since napakalayo ng top lane na yan dito sa Elder Drake, mas may hirapan ngayon yung IPT. I don't think they are in any position to challenge this Elder Drake. This will go to Naga Esports side unless, for some miracle, something weird happens where IPT just steal this away.
Let's go ahead and see though, Naga Esports, they're really in on this with 3 buffs on their side. That's a lot of value they can get out of this. Pero ito na ng IPT, it's still a little bit of a slow take coming in from Naga Esports. Reverse wall to cancel out any further attempts for IPT to go for the steal. Ivalis, he's gonna try to go in, but no, won't be enough. Cosmic Radiance popped up by Neep. The rest of IPT, they're gonna try to scatter. Cosmic Radiance is now down. This could be the opportunity for them, but no, that will be light, easily taken down by the brute of Naga Esports, and this could be their chance. Elder Drake is up for them. Baron is now up as well. This could be big for Naga.
Yeah, and with no mid laner for the next 40 seconds, it is a 4v5 on the map. Kahit na nag-spawn na yung inhibitor sa top lane, IPT, will they challenge this Baron? Because this might spell the last nail in the coffin for them. Naga Esports have started up the Baron.
And that will indeed be the Baron Chisto. The rest of IPT, they might try to go for the salvage. I'm not sure if that's a feasible thing though. But then again, miracles do happen on Summoners.
They have to give it up.
Ivalis, is he going to go for it? It gets stolen by Imperium Pro Team. Wow, absolutely well played by Ivalis right there. At yan ang kanyang redemption from Game 1. Imperium Pro Team, let's go ahead and see. 3 members currently have the buff. I'm speechless, man. But in the midst of everything, Naga Esports, they're going to go on the offense right now. Let's go ahead and see Chisto.
Of all people, it's actually Shadow that steals away the Baron. But at what cost? It is a 4v5 on the map. Hey, he is in a bit of trouble. Oh my god. Oh my god, Hate.
Is this gonna be it though for IPT? Teleport coming in from Iconic, manages to isolate Hate right there. Suzaku goes for the front line, but unfortunately not enough of a response coming in from Imperial Pro Team. Rebenko goes in straight for the back line. Calculated gets Suzaku. That will be
it's all on
3
Hate.
members. Imperium Pro Team still up and running. Cosmic Radiance gonna be popped off. Imperium Pro Team. Ooh, that will be the stun onto Shadow Light, the only surviving member.
That's definitely it.
I'm not quite sure though. Looks like Ivalis will be up and running. That will be the stun. Moment of stasis. Ivalis, he's gonna go straight in. Goes for Luxuria, but it won't quite be enough. Light goes down. That will be the stun popped off. Coming in from Neep once again. Ivalis forced to jump out of there. That will be Nexus turret number 1 for Naga Esports. Nexus number 2. They're easily gonna drive through. But ladies and gents, kahit na steal yung Baron,
I think this is
gonna be the game. 2-0. Naga Esports makes a massive comeback as we conclude Day 1, Week 5 of the Bacchus Pro Gaming Series. Well played, indeed.
What an explosive. What a great series from Naga Esports. Just clinical. Aside from that one hiccup where they did give up the Baron, I think that game was very, very methodical from them. So, man, Naga Esports from the previous week, absolute 180 in their performance where now they get the 2-0. I mean, improvements shown right there.
Indeed. Correction pala, so si Shadow pala yung naka-steal ng Baron kanina, not Ivalis. Okay. So, akala ko redemption na yung para kay Ivalis. Hindi pala. Pero at least, naka-steal ang IPT. And I think that is gonna be for Thrill of the Hunt din. So, yun, at least our summoners are gonna be happy. That's for sure. IPT probably not so much, unfortunately, as for Naga Esports, definitely a moment to celebrate after a little bit of a drought from week 2 to 4. Finally, nakapag-bounce back sila. And ito nga yung sinasabi natin na pahirap yung weeks nila. So it's just gonna get all the more harder. So it's nice to see na they still had that fight in them to push it into a 2-0.
But let's go ahead and digest what happened during that second game. I think in the end, just the clutch plays coming from the members of Naga Esports, it was a very close, the fights were very close, but just at the end, it was calculated, landing the perfect seismic shoves onto both Hate and Light, just absolutely carrying his team at the back end of these fights, and I think that was one of the X factors in Naga Esports 2-0 win.
Man, I'm still trying to get over what just happened there. I mean, could have potentially been a good turnaround for IPT, but unfortunately, this wasn't quite in their favor as far as what they had to work with on Summoner's Rift. So, man, I'm kind of itching to find out who our MVP is going to be for that game, because in all fairness, a lot of people from Naga Esports really stopped their game. Iconic, Rebenga, Luxuria. I think Neep as well with all the utility they granted. Any one of these 4 players could be. I guess Calculate to an extent didn't have the best game 1, but then again, the Weaver's Wall really enabled Naga Esports throughout most of those fights, especially in game 2. So I guess we'll find out in just a bit who that will be. I mean, kung ikaw, Chisto, sino ang choice mo for MVP?
Probably Luxuria.
Ah.
I think he played very well this series and he was enabled by his team to carry. I think compared to previous weeks, his performances in the series was absolutely great, and I think moving forward, it's a good sign for Naga.
I'd agree with you, and I guess it just goes to show na doesn't really matter where teams are at as long as they have that fortitude, that discipline of mind to try to recover, try to make that comeback, and pretty much proven. First, we saw Barcy X Rage Esports. Now we're finally seeing Naga Esports back in their element, and hopefully we see that signature clean macro and rotations from week 1 and week 5 consistent in the final 2 weeks of the PGS. So I believe our interview is pretty much good to go para malaman natin kung sino ang magiging MVP ng laban natin. So of course, we have been your casters for this particular game. Chisto and Arctic, take it away, Atlas, as we find out who our MVP is.
Good afternoon, everyone. Of course, Chisto's prediction on who our MVP is today is right. It is the 80 carry for Naga Esports. We're with Luxuria right now, and I'm going to be interviewing him. Of course, after that game, ano yung feeling nyo papasok sa series na to? May mahaba kayong losing streak, tas kalaban nyo pa IPT. Ano yung mindset ng buong team papasok?
Mindset namin manalo, syempre. Parang di pa rin kami nalulusop na makapasok sa playoffs.
So there's that resilience, that mental fortitude na hindi sila mag-give up kahit anong mangyari. Kailangan utak nila nasa manalo lang.
Manalo.
The next question is, now how do you feel? How do you feel na nanalo kayo, especially against IPT, one of the top teams in the PGS?
Feel ko mas gaganahan kami. Magpa-practice pa kami para yung ma-secure talaga namin yung playoffs.
And just use that momentum from the victory to get even more wins. Of course, what's your message to everyone out there watching the PGS and all of your fans?
Maniwala lang kayo sa amin. Mananalo pa kami.
So there you have it. We've got Naga, Luxuria's words for all of you. Just believe in Naga, believe in Luxuria. That was such an explosive series, and of course, we'll be getting more esports action tomorrow and next week. I am Atlas. With me was Naga Luxuria, and we'll be seeing you tomorrow.
Oh, that will be the shoving coming in from Iconic. Suzaku has to be careful. Ibelis as well coming in for a back row. Teleport na rin ang magagaling kay Light. Pero makakauna dito ang Naga Esports. Calculated now on a killing spree. Manages to take down Suzaku. Kailangan ng matas ng unang miyembro ng IPT. Light. Hate and Shadow canceled out from escaping. Ibelis tries to salvage it. Hate very, very low. That will be Shadow caught in the midst of everything. And Snipe coming in from Luxury. At True Shot Barrage deals the work right there. And of course,
Saido, I think Naga want to go for an engage.
And Suzaku gets blocked off, gets knocked in by Iconic, and we'll get away. Rebenga goes straight for Hate right there. Imperial Pro Team, they're trying to back off, but still Ibelis gets the kill onto Calculated. Will IPT potentially go for the turnaround? Iconic manages to evict Light, but double kill managed by Ibelis. Mukhang hindi aatras ang IPT. Gusto nilang sumulot. Belmore back in for Light into the fight. Neat gets slowed down as well, and will get obliterated. 3 members. Naga Esports looks like that is going to be in the lead. Weaver's Wall will cancel out Suzaku and Light from going into that fight. Naga Esports go for engage on what 3 members are isolated. Looks like that will be indeed the case. Calculated easily gets hit, and that's going to be a huge blow to Imperial Pro Team in this fight. He gets to kill onto Ibelis, dalawang member ng Imperial Pro Team ang na-decimate ng Naga Esports. At the Pro Team, they're trying to back away. Suzaku, is he going to go for the initiate? That is going to be the stun as the rest of Naga Esports, they get fully stunned by Suzaku right there, but looks like Imperial Pro Team, ito na yung hinahap nilang fight para makabawi. He's gonna be the superstar right here. He tries to go for the rest of Naga Esports. This could be a potential cleanup. Light comes in from the background, goes for the flank. Calculated gets the kill onto Suzaku, but IPT, they're not done just yet. They want to go for the cleanup. Light potentially will get the kill onto Luxury. He has to be careful. He goes down, but not before he gets taken down by Ibelis in exchange. Rebenga, the only survivor.